There are a lot of legendary Pokemon in Pokemon Go, but there's also a lot of legendaries we don't have yet. Let's talk about them. First up, Mega Mewtwo X, a psychic and fighting type mega legendary from Generation 6. We usually get mega legendary debuts at something huge like a Go Fest or a special event, and that's how I think Mega Mewtwo X is going to debut in Pokemon Go. It's going to be an absolute beast, and so is Mega Mewtwo Y, a great and pure psychic type legendary that's going to change the game when it gets here. And from Generation 7, we have the normal type legendary Pokemon, Type Null. This is an interesting Pokemon because it actually has an evolution, but I do think that this Pokemon will be released in raids. This is a really interesting legendary because not only can it evolve, it can also change its type. So Type Null can evolve into Silvally, and Silvally can change its type depending on some stuff that we probably will never see in Pokemon Go. It's tough to tell with a Pokemon like this how it'll drop, but my guess is that Type Null will be released in legendary raids, and it'll have a form change similar to how, I don't know, Furfrou can change forms. I'm interested to see how that's gonna work. We'll find out one day. Next up is an Ultra Beast Poipole that also can evolve. It's a poison type Ultra Beast from Generation 7. My guess is that this will be available in raids, and there will be some kind of probably crazy legendary requirement to evolve it into its evolution, Naganadel, which is a poison and dragon type Ultra Beast, which is super cool, and I think that'll be available only through evolution. Speaking of Ultra Beasts, we also have Stakataka, the Rock and Steel Ultra Beast from Generation 7. I believe a Pokemon like this very easily should be dropped in Ultra Beast raids or even Elite raids. We've seen almost every other Ultra Beast in the game already, so chances are this one's coming up soon. And the other final Ultra Beast we have yet to see is Blacephalon, the Fire and Ghost type Ultra Beast, assuming it'll probably also come in Ultra Beast raids. Next up's a pretty crazy one. We have the legendary Necrozma. Now, this Pokemon is wild. We've actually seen it in Pokemon Go before, not physically, but it has appeared in the game. Necrozma is an awesome looking legendary, but it's got a bunch of different forms. We have Necrozma in its regular form, which is a psychic type. We have the Duskmane Necrozma, which is psychic and steel, the Dawn Wings Necrozma, which is psychic and ghost, and the Ultra Necrozma, which is psychic and dragon. These Pokemon are absolutely wild. I have no idea, again, how these form changes are going to be handled, but I could only assume this Pokemon will be available in raids one day. If I had to guess, they're probably going to release this like they did with Deoxys or with Giratina. There's just going to be another form of them available. We'll have to see about that, but Necrozma is going to be insane. Moving on to Generation 8, we have an interesting one with Kubfu, a fighting type legendary Pokemon, and this Pokemon I think will be available through special research. There's not a lot of legendaries that have been research exclusive. I can think of Zygarde at the moment, but nothing really else. But this strikes me as a research legendary Pokemon because it actually can evolve into two different Pokemon. Well, technically it's one Pokemon with two different forms. Anyways, Kubfu can evolve into Urshifu. Now, Urshifu does have two different forms. We have the Single Strike Urshifu and the Rapid Strike Urshifu. Single Strike Urshifu is a fighting and dark type Pokemon, while Rapid Strike Urshifu is a fighting and water type Pokemon. I really don't see these legendaries being in raids, so research is my guess. Another cool legendary from this gen is Glastrier, an ice type legendary that I think is going to be available in raids. Now, this Pokemon is pretty interesting because it has like a counterpart to it, and that is the other legendary Spectrier, a ghost type. Now, these Pokemon are awesome on their own, but they actually have a special relationship to another legendary Pokemon, Calyrex. Now, Calyrex can, I'm going to use the word fuse with those other legendary Pokemon. For example, when it is with Glastrier, it is the Ice Rider Calyrex, which is a psychic and ice type legendary, and when it's with the Spectrier, it is the Shadow Rider, what's this called? Calyrex. So confusing, I know. I don't know what they're going to do about something like this. Are they going to be all individual legendaries? Can you put two of them together? Who knows? Moving on, we have Enamorus. Now, this is a Pokemon I thought would already be in the game. It's a fairy and flying type Pokemon that is a part of the Genie family, you know, Thundurus, Landorus, Tornadus. There's been a lot of rumors that it's going to be coming to Elite raids in Pokemon Go, which is kind of exciting. It does have a Therian form and an incarnate form. It's got a bunch of hearts on it, so I feel like if it does come out, it'll come out around February during the Valentine's event. That just makes a lot of sense to me, but we'll see. I think Enamorus, out of any Pokemon on this list, could be next. Now, here's a legendary Pokemon I cannot imagine in Pokemon Go, Eternatus. Eternatus is an insanely dope poison and dragon type from Generation 8. I can't see this Pokemon dropping. If it does, maybe Elite Raids, maybe Special Research, I don't know. The crazy thing about Eternatus is that it has a crazy form called Eternamax Eternatus, in which it makes it the most OP Pokemon in like all of existence of life. The CP it could have is absolutely off the chain, and it's going to be powerful as all heck. I don't think we'll ever see that, so let's not even worry about it, but if it does come to the game one day, that would be really cool. It would just break the game. Anyways, moving on to Generation 9, we have Wo-Chien, the Dark and Grass legendary Pokemon that I think will debut in regular legendary raids. I don't think there's going to be anything special about this Pokemon. I love it, but I don't think anything crazy is going to be associated with it. Should be in Pokemon Go within the next year or so. There's also Xianpao, a Dark and Ice type legendary that I think as well is going to be available in legendary raids. That should be cool. We also have Ting-Lu, the Dark and Ground type legendary Pokemon. Again, don't think it's going to be anything crazy. I'm going to guess legendary raids on that one. There's also Chi-Yu, the Dark and Fire type legendary Pokemon. Again, legendary raids, nothing special. Then we move on to some interesting legendaries. We have Okidogi, a poison and fighting type legendary from Generation 9. Wild name, wild design, but that's cool, I guess. Then we have Munkidori, a poison and psychic type legendary from Generation 9. Also probably going to come through raids. And we have Pheasantipede, a poison and fairy type legendary from Generation 9. 3 Pokemon that I don't think will change the meta at all, but well, you never know. Who knows? Maybe they will. We'll see. And then there's Ogerpon. I don't know how to say it. A Pokemon with a bunch of different forms and different types. So we have the Teal Mask form, which is a grass type. We have the Wellspring Mask, which is a grass and water. Hearth Flame, which is a grass and fire. And Cornerstone, which is a grass and rock. This is a crazy Pokemon because depending on what mask it has, it can, no pun intended by the way, depending on what mask it has, it can change forms, it can change types, so who knows what the heck they're gonna do with that. Pokemon like this we'll probably see way down the line, but Ogerpon should be interesting. Next up, we have the Fighting and Dragon type Pokemon from Generation 9, Koraidon. This is a Pokemon I think will be released in regular raids. I thought we would have seen it already, to be honest, but it's kind of interesting because it also does have other forms. But the interesting thing is that its forms are kind of for not battling. Like you can use it to go on land, water, fly, whatever. I don't know how much they're going to affect actual battle or how they're going to implement that, or if they're going to implement that in Pokemon Go. We'll have to wait and see. We also have its counterpart Miraidon, the electric and dragon type Pokemon from Generation 9. Again, I think this will just drop in legendary raids. This also has different forms that are for travel, so I don't think we're going to see that. I don't know, that'd be weird. Maybe it would just be a visual thing, like if you have it as your buddy or something like that, but Miraidon and Koraidon should be fun when they get here. And finally, a legendary Pokemon we have yet to see in Pokemon Go is Terrapagos, a normal type legendary from Generation 9. Now, I don't know about this guy because it's got a couple forms itself. It's got normal form, terrestrial form, and stellar form. Forms that are currently pretty hard to comprehend being in Pokemon Go, so it's really hard to tell how something like this is going to be in the game. And that goes for a lot of legendary Pokemon on this list. I mean, you have so many different form changes. Not only do we have to figure out how the forms will change, but when will they change? How could they change? Are they going to be their own different Pokemon? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered before we see something like that. That's why we haven't seen Arceus in the game yet, even though it's quote-unquote overdue, because I don't even think Niantic has figured out a way for these form and type changes to work in this game yet. If you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe they'll listen, maybe they'll see it. I sure as heck am a bit overwhelmed when I think about it because there's so many things to take into account, but hopefully we'll see it one day. I'm sure we will. But that'll do it. That was about 30 legendary Pokemon that we have yet to see in Pokemon Go that we should be seeing hopefully over the next year or so. Let me know in the comments which Pokemon you're looking forward to most and which Pokemon you think is next. Hopefully we see him soon.